Hello friends, in this video I am going to demonstrate two features of Excel. First is unpivot option of Power Query and second is pivot chart for data analytics and dashboarding using Excel. So over to my screen. Friends, this is the data which I have downloaded from Manrega website of Government of India for specific state, so Maharashtra, and for specific financial year 22-23. Okay, so now this is so I have district wise figures for each type of work. So there are various types of works which are there in the column. Okay. And I want to create pivot chart for analysis and dashboarding. Now for pivot chart, one thing is required is pivot table. So based on the pivot tables, pivot charts are automatically prepared in Excel. Now the issue with this is that whatever metrics or whatever fields I need to drill upon needs to be in column. Okay, like district I have in column, but various types of or nature of works are there in rows. So I want a combination something like this. So let's say Amravati, what are the number of other rural infrastructure? Amravati, what are the rural drinking water? What are the flood control? So I want permutation combination of rows for each district and each nature of work. I want a single row. Okay, so we are going to see that how using Power Query unpivot feature you can arrange this data like this so that we can prepare pivot table based on this. Let's see. So I will close this Excel file and relaunch Excel again. So let's open Excel, blank workbook, and I will go to data tab, get data from file from Excel workbook. Okay, and let's browse this Excel workbook. So in this spillover folder, okay, I have this for Maharashtra. Now ensure that this file must not be open, otherwise you will get error that file is already open. Okay, so you must close the source file before you import it through Power Query. So I'll click import. So we have only one sheet called data. Let's click transform data. Now, first thing first, we need to get rid of extra columns which we don't want. Like the serial number is not needed. Okay, so I will just right click and remove that column. Okay, and we even need to get rid of extra rows. Okay, but before that, I need to put this thing. Okay, put this row as a column header. Okay, so we'll go to transform, use first row as header. Okay, so you can see this program names as headers, but unfortunately this cell was blank because the cells were internally merged in Excel. So title for this first column has gone. Let me again double click and rename it back district. Okay, now let's remove extra rows from top and bottom. Okay, from the bottom side we need to remove this total row, otherwise it would again get added into our calculation. Okay, so let me remove row by name total, and we even need to remove this blank or null row. Okay, so two things we need to remove empty, that means remove the null thing, and remove the total one. So I will again click here, text filter does not equal to total. Okay, okay, so the total at the bottom and top both are removed. Okay, now let's check if Excel was able to, Power Query was able to detect data type properly. Okay, so this column is textual. You can see ABC, and these are 1, 2, 3. That means numeric columns. Okay, now I'm going to instruct Power Query that I want a combination of this district and this program. Okay, this district, second program, then row number 2 and column 1, row number 2, column 2. Likewise, we want tabular structure. So this option is called unpivot. It means it is exactly reverse of a pivot table. So what I'm going to do, I will select this district column, okay, and I will go to the drop down in this transform tab, and you can say unpivot column, okay. So I will click here and will say unpivot other columns. So except the district remaining column, kindly unpivot it. Let's unpivot them. So you can see Power Query has made permutation combination of this, okay, district and program. Now let me rename this. So by default it gives value, attribute and value, okay. So this is my program, type of program of government, and this is number of programs, okay. So let's say value, we can keep it value, okay, it doesn't matter. Now let's click and close and load. So this is our data sheet, close and load. So this will load this data into Excel, okay. Let's prepare pivot chart and pivot table based on this data, okay. So I will go to insert, and here you can see pivot chart. So I will say select pivot chart and table so that it is multi-purpose. So based on this data, this has automatically been detected, and let's press OK. Okay, now pivot chart is basically driven by pivot table. So whatever we select and drag into pivot table, into tabular form, that thing would be analyzed in pivot chart. Okay, so let's say we drag various programs, okay, into legends and values. So this is a pivot chart, sort of something like this, and you can always play with pivot chart. Like let's say I go to design and I want pie chart, let's say. So I'll say change chart type pie, and okay, here you need to play with this a bit, okay. So I will drag program here. Okay, now this is a big congestion, you can see. So maybe you can even filter this out. So if you go here, you can precisely focus on, like let's say land development, food control and playgrounds. So maybe I want to focus just on this. So like this you can play with this, and you can even maybe drag district here in the filter, and you can even make this for specific district. Let's say I want to check only for Amravati, maybe, or maybe I want permutation Amravati plus Akola, very minor. So like this in pivot chart, you can play with this just using your pivot table. So our pivot table is basically an input to pivot chart. Please try this using the demo files which are available for download. You can find the link of those files in the video description. So if you like this technique, do like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel.